Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Confidence of the people and members in the legislative process. Honorable members, the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2025 and its implications on the LGBTQ plus issue is a global concern. Therefore, the eye of the world is upon this parliament, the Parliament of Ghana. What we do here must be able to withstand any legal and constitutional challenges that are sure to come. The bill has from its inception been presented to the nation as a bipartisan legislative initiative. Such bipartisan cooperation represents Parliament at its finest. It demonstrates to the people of Ghana that notwithstanding political differences, members of Parliament are capable of uniting around matters which they consider to be of national importance. It is therefore my considered view that a legislation of this magnitude ought, as far as practicable, to command not merely the numerical support of a majority of members, but also the broad confidence of the House regarding both its substance, and the process by which it was adopted. What is right must be done rightly. Honorable members, I call on Parliament to rely on the provisions of motions and the conventions of this House to go back to this historic and important bill and reconsider it in the way that is truly bipartisan to conform with the convictions and confidence of our people, the initiators of the bill. For the avoidance of doubt, my concern is that legislation of such profound national importance should proceed on a foundation of broad parliamentary support, bipartisan cooperation, and scrupulous adherence to the procedures established by the Constitution and the standing orders of Parliament. The legitimacy, credibility, and enduring authority of any law depend not only on the objectives sought to be achieved, but also in the integrity of the process by which the law is enacted. Procedural law is as equally important as substantive law. Honorable members, converse and go out. Indeed, this statement is consistent with my obligation under Order 24B of the Standing Orders to promote consensus on matters under consideration in the House. It is with this conviction that I invite honorable members to reflect on whether further consideration of this matter may better secure the confidence, unity, collective ownership of the bill, and respect of our faith, laws, and passion of the nation.
I guess you heard him.
I didn't hear any provision of the law, standing orders, or the Constitution that authorizes the Speaker or Parliament as a body to recall a bill for consideration after it has been passed. What the Speaker spoke about are aspirations. Is aspirational to build consensus in parliamentary practice. is aspirational for Parliament to be working as a unit. So what Speaker has been saying are aspirations, and they are laudable aspirations, I must admit, but they are not binding aspirations. They are aspirations. He talks about motions. Motions are taken when Parliament is seized with jurisdiction to deal with a matter. That's when motions can be relied on. But when Parliament's jurisdiction has been exhausted, how can a motion bring that jurisdiction back? Because that jurisdiction has been given to Parliament by law. And look at the enacting formula of laws. Laws are made, Article 106 of the Constitution, when bills are passed by Parliament and assented to by the President. Passed by Parliament and assented to by the President. This bill has been passed by Parliament. What is left for it to become law is to be assented to by the President. So how do you reconsider what Parliament has passed? It can only come when the bill has been assented to and then amendments promoted. Or, and that's what I said, I feel incredibly proud of my President. My President is not a lawyer, but he's demonstrated his understanding of the lawmaking process. To my admiration and commendation. Why? In 2022 or thereabouts, this bill was passed by Parliament. It was passed by Parliament. There was no unanimity, but it was passed by Parliament. And forwarded to Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. The Constitution gave Nana Akufo-Addo options to deal with the bill. He chose an option that is not founded in law. He said, through his executive secretary, he directed Parliament to cease and desist from transmitting the bill to the President. It was so embarrassing of a lawyer of that stature, somebody who had prided himself as being a human rights advocate, to take such act of impunity when he was made the president of this country. But what President Mahama has done is consistent with what Kufuor did in 2006 or thereabouts, when the domestic violence bill was being considered by Parliament. It was considered and passed by Parliament. Parliament forwarded or transmitted the bill to the President for signature. President Kufuor had reservations on a clause in the bill that sought to criminalize marital rape. You remember? That was the time the conversation was around marital rape. You remember?
Yes, vividly.
Yes. President Kufuor did not write a letter through his executive secretary for us to desist, for Parliament to desist, cease and desist from transmitting the bill to him. What he did was that he indicated his reservation and forwarded same to the Council of State. And Council of State invited Parliament to reconsider that provision in the bill. Parliament rose to the occasion, and I'm telling you, Senator, the wording in that provision was provided by me, your humble servant, to meet the expectation of Kufuor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I provided the wording.
So you had to rework.
I had to rework. I was just passing when the chairperson of the gender committee, a lady, she rose to become the deputy minister of, or the minister of lands and natural resources, then lands and forestry. I was just passing when I was not even a member of that committee. I was just fresh prince from Ballet, who had just entered Parliament in 2006. Called lawyer, can you come help us reword this bill? I came, they read it, I considered it, and rearranged the words and inserted a few words. And that ended their meeting. And they forwarded it to Kufuor, and Kufuor was satisfied and assented to the bill. So that is the way that a bill can come back. A bill hasn't been passed by Parliament. That is the way it can come back to Parliament. So when the President says, oh, this is not my bill, it's a private member's bill. I mean, President John Dramani Mahama, it's a private member's bill. So when the bill is transmitted, I will sit with my Attorney General and relevant stakeholders and see whether the bill meets the reasonable and legitimate expectations of the people of this country before I assent. Perfect. Solid. Lawyers say he's on firm ground, terra firma. And so if it comes and he thinks that there are certain provisions in the bill that does not meet the aspirations of the people of this country, he will indicate his reservation. But on advice by the Attorney General and his legal counsel at the seat of government. And then he can escalate it under the Constitution to the Council of State for further reconsideration. Mr. Speaker, that is the only time that the bill can make an entry again into Parliament.
But I guess you understand the Speaker, because you called it aspirational. The Speaker has been at the forefront of moving for the passage of this bill. In fact, we are even hosting a conference on family values and, of course, sovereignty. Those are the three things that this bill tries to deal with because of what we heard from the West. For someone in that position, the last thing he wants to do is a parliament that is now, the minority now shouting on top of their voice, essentially saying you have watered down the bill, among others. Building consensus, should that not also be considered? And is there a way in which this bill can actually be brought back and considered?
The Speaker is my senior in Chambers. I practice with him at Law Trust. So I'm very restrained in commenting about his conduct. He's my senior. But on this occasion, I seriously disagree with him. No one elected a speaker to make laws for this country. No one. We elected members of Parliament to make laws for the country. The Speaker is not a member of Parliament. He presides. And when he read that it's consistent with his duties to ensure consensus, that is exactly what it means. That look, when I'm presiding here, I must make sure that the minority's voice is heard and other voices are heard. That is how you build a consensus. That superior wisdom will prevail. But that doesn't mean that substituting my own personal idiosyncrasies with the views of Parliament. No. No. My understanding of parliamentary practice does not lend credence to what the Speaker is saying. No. He's a presiding officer of Parliament, ensuring that there is fairness, ensuring that people, other members of Parliament who want to contribute are allowed to contribute, to ensure discipline in the House and ensure that what happens in the House reflects the ultimate will of Parliament. But he cannot tell Parliament what to do.
Is that not why he's appealing? He said, I am appealing, not directing.
Well, that appeal is coming from where? Which provision of the standing order?
Are you saying
moral situation or what?
Are you saying there's no way in which the Speaker's appeal can be carried out?
I don't see how that can be carried out without breaching the standing orders and the Constitution of the country.
Okay. Finally, let me conclude with something that happened yesterday that everybody was talking about. Yesterday, it seemed the minority leader, there was a post on his Facebook page which he then claimed was because his Facebook page was compromised, where he said he does not agree with this bill, that he doesn't agree the best way to deal with this matter is to pass a bill of this nature. There's also Dr. Draman, who is of the opinion that state actors must clarify position on LGBTQ plus bill. What level of credence should we attach to what is on the minority leaders page? And people have also produced videos in which he said the same things on the floor in Parliament, in interviews with the media.
I thought that the minority leader was bold when he said that, well, what doesn't concern all should not be a matter to be decided by all. And that is, I just paraphrasing what I read on his wall. And that it's a needless waste of time to be engaging public resources in dealing with a matter that is inherently private, happening behind closed doors. I have sympathy for that view. But why he's not bold to admit and accept that position, own it, is my worry. It's not alone in that view. But to run away from a view that you have shared is something that is of concern to me. It's worrying. Goes to integrity. So that's my position on that.
Goes to integrity?
Yes, it's integrity.
That it should be bold.
It should be bold.
And own that view.
Own it.
But can you understand why he's running away from it?
Doing what is proper when people are not watching. Accepting what you have done as your own. That's integrity.
But I guess you understand how okay. So this whole arrangement and the way people feel about it, and the way the MPP speaks about how it affected their chances in the 2024 elections. For him to put this position forward, the party will not be happy with him.
What I'm saying is that leadership doesn't always mean that you must lead from the front. You can be a dark leader. You lead from behind. So leadership doesn't mean that you must always be in front. So it doesn't matter the general opinion of people. If you believe that what you hold, the opinion you hold is right, and you have convictions on that opinion, it doesn't matter. The whole world can turn against you. I mean, you remember, is it Galileo?
Yes.
Who said that it was not the sun that was moving around the F, but rather the F that was moving around the sun. You remember?
Yes.
You know what happened to him?
Yes.
He was beheaded. It went against the conventional wisdom then. But when even at the point of death, he said that no, he thinks that it is not, he believes that it's not the sun that moves around the F, but the F that moves around the sun. But today, we all agree. We all know that what he stood against, what he stood for, against the dominant wisdom, has come to be the truth. Until otherwise disapproved. But that is what conviction is about. So you don't have to follow the tide. If you believe that your position is right, follow that position. And as you continue winning one or two souls, you might finally end up as the dominant wisdom in the conviction that you hold.
So the minority leader has shown a clear lack of conviction.
A clear lack of conviction. It's shown that he is a fair weather politician.
Alaji, thank you. Thank you for speaking to us. Well, that's Alaji Inusah Fuseini. In case you didn't see it, this was on the page. And the interesting part about this is that the minority leader has expressed this position on other occasions. So it was interesting to see him then run away from it immediately after, pull it down and claim it is fake. Says a law that imprisons people for their sexual orientation, who they choose to love, does not protect society. It simply selects a group of human beings and makes their existence a crime. That is a line no parliament in the civilized world should cross. Well, so that's the minority leader, Alexander AFENYO-MARKIN, was on his page. Later, they claimed the page was compromised maybe less than an hour after he was able to take control of the page. If they compromise your page, maybe today, some people have had lost control of their page for a month. Took them some time to be able to do that. So he said it's a verified account, but the minority leader says that his page was compromised. And Honorable Inusah Fuseini says it should be both, and admit that is his position on the matter. And I know many of you have seen that post making the rounds. What do you think?
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.